The country is waiting for Raila's big day. It was on 9th, I understand is on 10th. Everybody seems to be wondering, what is Raila going to say? Today in this video, I'm going to attempt to tell Kenyans and the world what is likely to transpire, what Raila is going to say. And this is most likely to be what he will say. But before I say that, let me remove a few things from the way. Because there are those who are saying it is possible Raila could say he's not going to run. That he could tosha somebody on that day. He could say Kalonzo tosha, Mudavadi tosha, Gideon Moi toshas, whoever it is tosha. Let's walk away from that. The preparation Raila has put in place, the resources he has mobilized and begun to use, the teams he has put together, the serious arrangements in terms of secretariat, the traversing the country with Azimio la Umoja. It is inconceivable that a man who has done what Raila has done today in terms of pushing his own agenda for presidency can the last moment, on that 10th of December, turn around and say, I'm supporting somebody else. Things don't work like that in the world in which we live. It must be a different world. So in the world in which we live, just looking at Raila himself, not even to mention what he says about next year, looking at the effort he's put in, it will be difficult to imagine that on that day, Raila will be announcing that he's not running. That's not possible. So let's sweep it away. Something else we need to sweep away. That Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila's brother, may, after all, not be supporting Raila. Again, let's deal with that. Where things have reached, those who imagined at some point Uhuru will support someone else other than Raila, even those who imagined he was playing Raila games, and that in the right time, at the right time, he will support William Samoei Ruto. Even the Ruto camp itself, even the Ruto people themselves, even Ruto himself, they have come to accept that Uhuru's support is gone. It's not for them. And they have said as much. And the anger you can see from Ruto is show you here is a man who is angry that yangu kumi yako kumi has not worked. So for those who are expecting that at some point Uhuru Kenyatta will not support Raila Odinga, I think we will have to inform them, sadly, that's not the case. Uhuru himself, looking at his people, very close people, including cabinet secretaries, including those in the government, including state machinery, including close associates, family members, some of them, including himself. He has been subtle in the way he's been delivering the message. Most recently in Nakuru, he tells somebody, I presume it is William Ruto, that this is not a sprint, my friend. You've started way too early. This thing is a marathon. You're going to get tired. You run out of breath. The old man will come and catch up with you and bypass you. What could Uhuru be saying? In the past, he has said a number of things that would show is in support of Raila Odinga. So on 10th of December, it will become clear to all and sundry that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta indeed supports Raila Odinga. He would not turn up, of course, to say that he supports him. No, he would not do that. Not at all. But the signs will be there. The optics will show you Those present will show you. So having removed these two things from the way, that one, Raila is not standing, because he will stand. That two, Uhuru is not supporting Raila. Indeed, he is supporting Raila. This goes without saying. So what is this big thing that people are expecting from Raila? Certainly, therefore, the big thing cannot be that Raila is going to run. There are those who are expecting that on this occasion, Raila Amolo Odinga will announce his deputy. If that is possible, yes, it is possible, especially if that deputy has an element of shock. You know, the shock treatment. If it has an element of shock, something to send shivers in the other camp, something to make the country hold its breath, and for people to talk about it for 3 months, to disorganize the other camp, that is a possibility. And therefore, if that is going to be the case, it cannot be Peter Kenneth. No. Because everybody expects Peter Kenneth. It cannot be Martha Karua. A long shot, that is. An outsider. But many people have been talking about him. If that thing is going to be done on that day, then Raila Amolo Odinga could only shock the nation by appointing Lee Kinyanjui, by naming him as his running mate. That will send shockwaves for a number of reasons. He's Kikuyu, yes, but he's also a Rift Valley Kikuyu. As an influential young man. Talking of young man, yes, indeed he's young. So you are pairing Joe Biden, a fairly old man, advanced in age, with Kamala Harris, energetic young lady, and government can run. So pairing Raila Odinga with someone like Lee Kinyanjui is a perfect pair. And there are people who have talked about other things which for this show we shall not mention. That will be a shock. But I don't know if that's what Raila will say. This is my guess. On that day, and this is the major development on that day, it is not Raila who will speak. The country is going to speak. It's going to be arranged in such a way. After that day, after 10th of December, it will be clear to anybody who cares to see and to watch that Kenya has decided 2022 is Raila Amolo Odinga. And this be by way of the endorsements he will receive on that day. Some of the endorsements will shock people. This will be by way of presence. Some people will be present in that meeting that will shock people and will leave no doubt as to the direction things are taking. So stand by for the 10th of December. Open your eyes and see the kind of people who will be present at Kasarani will be a clear testimony of where the country is headed. Let your ears listen. The kind of things that those people say about Raila Odinga, the kind of things that those people say about Raila Odinga will be an indication like no other that it has been decided by those with the ability to deliver votes that Raila Amolo Odinga will be the president in 2022. That you can wait for. You can wait for that. That in terms of the people who will be there, in terms of the things that will be said, and finally, on that day, you can replay back in 2007, again in Kasarani, I think, when after the delegates had spoken during the ODM nomination for presidential candidate, after Joe Nyaga had withdrawn, God rest his soul, and supported Raila saying he would fight another day. And indeed he came back as an ostrich to fight Unfortunately, didn't make it. God again rest his soul. Raila remained with Musalia Mudavadi, William Ruto. I can't remember the other person. I think there was another person. And elections were held. Results were announced. Certainly and obviously Raila emerged the victor. The contestants, William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, Najib Balala. It's Najib Balala, I think. It's Najib Balala who withdrew from the race. I think Joe Nyaga must have gone to the wire. I can't remember those minor details. But it was Nyaga, Balala, Raila, Ruto and Mudavadi. One of them withdrew between Nyaga and Balala. The rest went to the wire. Raila, as obvious, emerged the victor. What happened on that day after that victory in Raila's speech will be replayed at Kasarani. He then called his people, and the 5 of them stood together and he said, this is the Pentagon. The word Pentagon alone played a trick like nobody would have imagined. The Pentagon was then born. So you'd be expecting something similar to Kasarani on 10th. And what's more, on that day, in the year 2007 at Kasarani, with the 5 of them together, Raila held Mudavadi's hand and said, this is the deputy captain. And the deal was sealed. Not the deal of making Mudavadi running mate. No. Then we didn't even have running mates. The deal was sealed, not just that he will be his vice president then, but the deal was sealed because the country was now ready to make Raila the president of the Republic of Kenya. We know what happened. Let's not go there. In Kasarani, that will be replayed. Not by way of necessarily identifying a running mate, but there will be a team. On that day, Raila is going to come up with a team and say, this is the team that is going to deliver this country. These men and women with me here on this podium are going to deliver the third and final liberation for this country. And that is what you will be expecting from Kasarani. That we will see the men and women that will work with Raila to deliver the presidents for him. We can only wait.